Southern Virginia University women's volleyball from the Knight Sports Arena. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined by the men's volleyball coach, Coach Tom Peterson. We are ready to bring you the final home match of the regular season for the Southern Virginia University Knights as they get ready to take on Randolph in non-conference action. Of course, last week, Tom, they suffered their first home loss of the season last Tuesday to Virginia Wesleyan, and over the weekend, the Knights went to Christopher Newport on Friday and Mary Washington on Saturday, losing both those matches 3 sets to 1. So essentially, that's a 3-game losing streak now for the Knights and 2 important losses in the conference, and they're going to try to bounce back and snap this 3-game losing streak tonight against here Randolph. Again, non-conference action tonight.
Well, the last 2 matches that the Knights played, those are against the best teams in the conference, so it's a little deceiving when you say a 3-game loss now, a 3-match losing streak, because it's against such good teams, and sometimes that can make you more hungry and play better, and hope that's what happens to the Knights. And
we had a chance over the weekend to take a look at the box scores, and again, 3 sets to 1 loss to CNU on Friday and 3 sets to 1 loss to Mary Washington on Saturday. But in many cases, in both those matches, some of those losses were pretty close. They were down to the wire, in around 20 points. The Knights were very close in several of those sets they lost. So, again, losing 3 out of 4 to Mary Washington and CNU. But, a break here or there, maybe a point different here or there, and it might have been 3-1 Knights, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Actually, my wife and I traveled to watch those 2 matches, and it was very true that just a little bit here with the Knights, they could have won that match, but home crowd and the home court advantage is a big advantage sometimes.
The one thing, when you look at the last 3 losses, the box scores, I did add it up, and in the last 3 box scores, by my count, I think they have 17 service aces, but they have 40 service errors. The service errors, not maybe solely responsible for this 3-match losing streak, but certainly it's got to be a factor.
Yeah, it seems like the Knights, we've watched it, now all year, that when the Knights are on, they're serving as a real plus for them. Yeah. And when they start to miss some, it goes the other way. So it's real high, and sometimes it's a very big low.
And again, it is senior night tonight for the Knights. They have 4 seniors they'll be honoring after this match, and we'll have that coverage for you. Delaney Layton, Claire Hoteling, also Penny Gwynn, and Hannah Allred. And without question, it's going to be very tough for Nicole Gwynn, the head coach of the women's volleyball team, Tom, to replace all 4 of those, especially when you look at the 2 up-front players in Hannah Allred and Penny Gwynn.
Yeah, you look at the productivity of those 2 players, that is going to be hard to replace for sure.
Right off the bat here in set 1, Hannah Allred with a service error.
Yeah, I don't expect the Knights to have all those service errors tonight. They're going to get on a roll here. That's just a feeling.
Taking on Randolph, a team that's 8-16 on the season overall, 3-7 in the ODAC. Tiggs on the kill attempt there. Knights trying to set up on the right side. Tiggs again. Good dig by the Randolph Wildcats. And that shot will go for Randolph.
On the block,
yeah, it was touched by the Knights. So the Randolph Wildcats have a 2-0 lead here early on in set 1. Kind of recapping the Capital Conference situation here, Tom. Again, the Knights had those 2 big losses, but they still have a chance, I am told, at getting one of the top 2 spots in the Capital Conference. Of course, they would have to win their last 2 matches on Friday and Saturday against St. Mary's and Marymount, and maybe get some help, have York get defeated. And if that happens, the Knights can still have the 2nd seed, which would not only give them the home court advantage in the semifinal round, but it also would allow them to miss out on the quarterfinal round. Of course, if they finish number 3, they'll still get a home match, but it would be in the quarterfinals, and they would have to play that extra match as opposed to maybe finishing in the top 2 and going right into the semifinals.
Yeah, it's big to have home court advantage in the playoffs, but as you said, they're going to have some help. York has to lose, and maybe it's Mary Washington as well.
Yeah. Actually, it may be that York has to beat Mary Washington.
Yeah.
Mary Washington is a team that, again, right now is tied with the Knights. And, of course, the Knights right now are 5-2 in the conference. And you really can't overestimate how important it would be to get right into the semis and avoid that extra match.
Sure, just the fatigue alone and the home court advantage, yeah, it's a big deal. But That's probably not what they're thinking of right
Nope,
now, the Knights. They're
absolutely
just going to
not.
win this match.
And that one's going to be too strong, it looks like. So the Knights will continue to serve here with Delaney Layton, the senior. One of the 4 seniors are going to be honored in the postgame after this match is over. And Gwynn right there for the easy stuff over the net.
Yeah, good serve.
Tell you one thing, though, for the top 2 teams in the Capital Conference tournament, whoever gets that bye past the quarters right into the semis, it's got to be fantastic knowing that all it takes at that point is a 2-match winning streak and you are in the Division III tournament.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how it is set up if it's a match each night. I think there are 2 matches in one day.
I think it's 2 on the quarterfinals, I think, are on Tuesday of next week, and then the semis on Thursday, and I believe the finals would be on Saturday.
Yeah, so 3 different days, and it's not quite so bad to play 3 matches if they're on different days. Once you get into 2 matches in one day,
right,
then, the fatigue sets in.
And it's looking, especially after that loss to Virginia Wesleyan, the Knights would probably have to obviously win the conference tournament to get into the Division III tournament. I'm not sure being an at-large team is really on the table right now.
Yeah, it's probably true. The way so many automatic berths into the tournament just because of a conference, the conference tournament that you're in, if you win the tournament at the end of the season, you get an automatic berth. And then the committee would have to select some at-large teams, and there's just not that many. So if you're the second-place team, you better hope that you've been beating all these good teams during the year. And I think Nicole Gwynn, the coach herself, said that she's not sure that the strength of schedule would carry them to that spot.
Great dig there by Claire Hoteling, and the put away by Hannah Allred for the Knights' 6-point here in set number 1. And Crockett will set up Gwynn. And she puts it right where no one is.
We've talked about Penny Gwynn roll shotting. We call that a roll shot when she looks like she's going to hit and then she just rolls it over the block. She's so good at that. In fact, I haven't seen anybody in the league this year that's better than Penny Gwynn doing that shot.
Yeah, how difficult is it, Tom, to be accurate like that with your placement?
You have to be very, very good. In fact, just the anxiety alone to look like you're swinging hard and then slow your arm down, that's a real skill.
Again, Penny will be one of the 4 seniors honored after this match is over. Crockett will set up, and it was going to maybe go for Allred, but it didn't reach her, and Gwynwood didn't go for it. And a lot of confusion there for the Knights to give Randolph the point.
7-7.
So all even here in this first set as the Knights try to break this 3-match losing streak they've got. Allred over the net, and it looks like it's going to be touched by Randolph or maybe into the net by Randolph, and it's a point for the Knights.
That was a string of sets, that just not an outside set, and a little bit of confusion on the Knights' part just to who should be hitting that ball. I bet you they go outside here for a while just so that to eliminate that confusion.
And Nicole Gwynn playing some different people here in this first set. We saw Delaney Layton, the senior, out there. Also see Dubinsky, who hasn't played a lot this year. She's on the front line as the Knights pick up point number 9.
Yeah, Dubinsky, she is an athlete. I've seen her jump from way away. She's able to broad jump into the ball, and when she cranks it and hits it in the court, she's impressive. Number 3.
Good dig there by Crockett. Tiggs will get it over for the Knights. Good block by the Knights. Dubinsky and Allred both there.
I hope you get a chance to see Dubinsky, number 3, hit a ball. She's got quite the arm, and she's very athletic. 10-7 now for the Knights.
And the Knights have a 3-point lead here in set 1. Trying to get their momentum back for the final weekend of the Capital Conference. And Dubinsky.
They called the ball out.
Yeah, I thought that might have been touched.
Yeah,
but
I thought
it
the
wasn't
block
apparently.
touched.
So the point goes to the Wildcats. Here is Crockett. She will set up Allred. No stopping that.
Yeah, outside set. That's the strength of the Knights. Just set the ball to one of the 2 outside hitters and let them crank on the ball.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk more about this in the postgame, obviously, Tom, but that's going to be tough. Once everything is over, as Allred gets the ace, to find a way to replace these seniors, especially when you look at that front line of Allred and Gwynn. It's going to put a lot of pressure next season on a lot of different faces, maybe like a Lonis perhaps, or a Tiggs, to really step up and fill some slots.
Absolutely. The other players will step up. That's the way it is every season. You try to reload, not just recruit, but reload. And but to replace those two outside hitters that have received so many sets this year, that's quite the task. And even if they're good players that they recruit coming in, they're still freshmen compared to seniors.
And it's not just the hitting, it's Hannah Allred is fantastic on digs, as is Gwynn, and of course you just can't really measure, I guess, the leadership on the court.
The leadership and just how you play with those two in the lineup. You're used to that so much that to get used to two freshmen in the lineup now, or whoever takes their spot, it's just different.
There's an ace for Randolph as the Knights decided to let that go. Knight and Gwynn deciding to let that serve go, and it goes as an ace for the Randolph Wildcats.
13-10.
So the Knights still have a 3-point lead here in set one. And again, some miscommunication by the Knights, but it was Gwynn able to get that over.
Oh, the linesperson. Just so you know what the call is, the ball has to go inside the antenna, and the antenna obviously is an imaginary straight point going straight up from the antenna.
Like, I guess, the uprights on the football field. And at that particular point when Gwynn was trying to get it back over, she just didn't have the angle.
Exactly.
And so right now the lead is down to 2.
To 1, it
actually
looks like.
won, 13-12. Randolph trying to tie here. Dubinsky puts it away. 14-12.
That's fun to see. Yeah, the senior Dubinsky, number 3, and now she'll come out, and number 14, Lonis, goes in. But number 3, that was a nice swing. As you can tell that Dubinsky has a nice arm. She's such a good athlete.
Good solid serve by McKinley Knight. Randolph shot, too strong.
It just seems like, as a coach, and this maybe I'm relying on my coaching now, but you just get the sense that the Knights are just waiting to take over this match and this set. I think that they'll do it pretty soon here.
Good block by the Knights of the net. And will Randolph get it across? They will. Crockett going to set up Lonis. And somehow Randolph gets it back over. Now Crockett will try Tiggs.
They
call a push, I think, on Crockett.
Yeah, the ball handling error. They call all of those ball handling errors. If the ball doesn't come out cleanly out of the hands, especially on the setter, they'll call that a lift, and it's a double or a lift, and all of those are ball handling errors.
Those kind of errors, Tom, is it really more like a physical thing, or is it also at times, if you're not really sure who you're going to set up and you try to make the decision at the very last second, it can indecision actually lead to that?
Oh, sure, all of the above. Sometimes the experience of a setter, where to go, is a little indecision, and the strength of the hands, it plays a part. But, ball handling errors, you just can't have them especially at the end of the season. Now it's 15-14.
And the Knights still have the lead here, but just barely. Randolph doing a good job keeping the Knights away from the kills, but the Knights are able to get the block there.
Yeah, Wildcats looked like that was the right spot to hit. The line was open, but the hitter just hit it into the net.
Knights again trying to pick up their 18th win of the year. They're 17-7 and trying to snap that losing streak, a little momentum heading into the big 2 conference matches against Marymount and St. Mary's coming up next weekend. Here is Crockett for Lonis. Couldn't get it over the net.
Yeah, early in the season, Lonis hitting that little shot that's right in the middle of the court, but it's a little lob to her. It's not a real fast, quick set, we call them. That was her strength, and now some other shots are her strength, more than that little loopy set.
Good block by Crockett to maybe keep that one from being an easy kill for Randolph. And no stopping that, as Allred not able to get the dig there.
It's all tied up, 16-all.
Randolph came in 8-16 on the season, just 3-7 this season in the ODAC. But they had played pretty good here in set number 1. Gwynn gets the point.
Yeah, there was a touch, and the ball was in the court anyway. Good swing, Penny
Gwynn.
Gwynn.
See if the Knights can go on a little run here to try to put away set 1.
Yeah, the Wildcats hanging around.
And not a good set that time for Randolph, and it results in a Knights point.
Yeah, it's hard to say on a set like that whether the approach of the hitter just went too fast,
right,
or whether it was the set. It's hard to know what it was.
So the Knights have a 2-point lead here, 18-16. Miss hit there by Randolph. They will get it back over. Hoteling, Crockett, all red, and point Knights.
Yeah, those are just easy sets. A high outside set to the strength of the Knights, outside hitter. Hannah all red that time.
And we have our first time out of the match, and it's going to be taken by Randolph after the Knights have gone on a 3-0 run to take a 19-16 lead.
Yeah. Boy, like I said, I thought I was having that feeling that they would take over, but it just took a little longer. I think that Randolph, they match up very well. The Knights match up very well. When I say that, the height and who's at the net and the strength of the Knights that matches up well against particular teams. And I think against Randolph, they outman them in several of the positions. So if they just use those people and use them well with passing well, the Knights should win.
Well, you look at these standings. Christopher Newport 7-0 in the conference. York, Southern Virginia, Mary Washington, they're all 5-2. Now, of course, the Knights beat York. So if they were head-to-head, and which is the reason they're hoping York can knock off Mary Washington, because Mary Washington would win a head-to-head against the Knights, but the Knights would win a head-to-head against York. So the Knights are hoping that York can beat Mary Washington, and the Knights still would have to beat Marymount and St. Mary's this weekend. And if they can, they'd finish 7-2, maybe 20-7, 21-7 perhaps. I think they're actually playing Lebanon Valley on Saturday as well in a tri-match. And if they can get those two conference wins, again, they would finish as the number 2 seed in the conference, and that would allow them, provided again York beats Mary Washington and the Knights win their 2 remaining conference matches, they would be able to jump right into the semis and also be at home for the semis.
Yeah, I would like to emphasize just how good a season the Knights have had.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, the last few matches they've lost, and so people go, oh, well, you've lost 3 in a row, but it's such a good season already.
Very competitive matches, and all 3 losses, actually. They lost to Virginia Wesleyan 3-1, but again, that match could have gone either way. Several points in several sets could have gone the Knights' way, and they might have actually won that. Here they're trying to battle a very good Randolph team. Not the greatest record, but they have come in pretty tough here tonight. And this is Lonis on the right side, getting it blocked out of bounds, and it's a point for the Knights.
There's a good shot by Lonis. That's called a slide when you go behind the setter and you take off one foot.
That seems to be her strength, going on the slide to the right side.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the season, it seemed like that little loopy shot in the middle, but now kind of going away from the setter. And once in a while, a quick hit, what we call, and that's usually what middle hitters do, is they go up in the air, and then the setter sets them the ball as they're in the air. It's a very fast or quick hit, and it's called a quick hit. But Lonis is very good at going off one foot, going to the right side of the court. And she has an arm, as you see. When she swings at it and swings her hardest, boy, it's going fast.
Hey, by the way, coming up on Wednesday, the soccer, men's soccer will be at Frostburg tomorrow at 6 p.m. Women's soccer will be hosting Frostburg. Wednesday at 5:30, we'll have that one for you. And, of course, Friday at 7 o'clock, the official dedication of the football stadium and the final home football game against Frostburg Friday night at 7 o'clock. A rare Friday night home game time for the football team. And, again, it's their final home game of the 2017 season in their next to last season in the New Jersey Athletic Conference.
Yeah, final home game for the football team. Please come out and support them. They work so hard. We see those guys. I smell those guys sometimes by how hard they work, and you should come out and watch. They're really good people and great coaches, and the guys work so hard.
And that'll be Friday night at 7 o'clock. So soccer on Wednesday, football on Friday. And there's a serve out of bounds for Randolph.
Yeah, you can't come back that way. 23-17.
So the Knights just need 2 more points. Here's Haley Lonis ready to serve. We'll see what kind of serve she's got tonight. She'd love to get an ace here.
Good serve.
Wildcats get it back, and it'll go over to the left side to Allred, and she puts it away for point number 24.
Yeah, very nice set. Crockett, in her sophomore year, she's taken over very well the setting chores, and she almost always gives somebody a good swing at the ball.
Good serve again by Haley Lonis. And Allred right there for the block. Good dig by Lonis.
Good dig by Lonis.
And Allred is going to have the winning point. The set point goes to the Knights, 25-17.
Well, the Knights finally at the end, and in fact, you could see it jumping around, being a little more excited at the end. It takes a little while sometimes when you lose a match, and you go, well, who are we right now? Are we the team that lost just lately, or are we the team that's been winning all of these games and matches? So I think now the Knights will go on a roll.
You go from a 13-match winning streak to a 3-match losing streak, and now the Knights are trying to end the regular season with a 3-match winning streak. We mentioned about that big games coming up Friday at St. Mary's. St. Mary's right now 0-7 of the conference and just 3-20 on the season. So you would think the Knights would be in control of things on Friday. And then on Saturday they play Marymount. Marymount much better than St. Mary's this year. 3-4 in the conference, 11-12 overall. So if the Knights can get to Saturday and needing the win, and maybe York can take care of Mary Washington, either way, the Knights should be able to, with the 2 wins on Friday and Saturday, they'll guarantee themselves at least a home match in the quarterfinals, probably the number 3 seed, and obviously hoping to be the number 2 seed.
Yeah, the 3rd seed is actually, that can be an advantage. When you go into the playoffs, you're not sure what to expect sometimes, and when you have just a 1 match, do or die, sometimes you kind of either overthink it or you underthink it. It's kind of it's a hard thing as a coach, but when you've had a game under your belt or a match under your belt, sometimes that helps you.
Yeah, more than likely the 3 seed would play maybe a Frostburg or a Marymount. They're both 3-4 right now. And, of course, if there are no upsets, if it all stays true to form and the Knights were the 3 seed, they would have to play Mary Washington, the number 2 seed, again, barring upsets. Of course, if there are upsets and Mary Washington lost in the semis and Christopher Newport lost in the semis, it's possible the Knights could actually host the championship.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? More likely than not, if they meet Mary Washington, I watched that match, like I said, this last weekend, and I thought they did very well. There were times where I thought, hey, this is a very even match. Either team can win this. Mary Washington just has one outside hitter that they needed to stop.
What was your impressions of CNU, because they're 22-3 on the season? Again, the Knights played them pretty tough. It was 3-1 for CNU, but I know in a couple of those games, a couple of those sets could have gone either way.
You know, talking to our coaches, the Knights, coaches for the Knights, they thought they matched up pretty well with CNU. When I was watching the match, I will just say I was very impressed with CNU because they didn't just go to 1 or 2 players like Allred and Gwynn.
Correct.
Look how many sets they've had during the year. But CNU could go to any hitter at any time, and they had a good setter. They were very even. I was impressed. When they were on, they were very, very good.
Of course, CNU had a very close call just a couple of weeks ago at Mary Washington in a match that went 3-2 in favor of CNU, and the 5th set, I think, was 16-14. So, again, CNU 7-0, but they could have easily lost to Mary Washington and suffered their first loss.
We've talked about volleyball being a game of momentum. And when you have momentum, that overcomes those few points. The teams might be different in just a few points, but the momentum takes care of that, I think.
And it also shows, I think, the importance of trying to avoid those service errors, Tom, because as you mentioned repeatedly in the volleyball matches with the webcast we've done with you, is just basically giving the other team a gift.
Yeah, the last home match that we broadcast, I think there were 24 or 20 some odd missed serves.
Yeah.
It's almost like giving a set to somebody when you do that. And so, the missed serves that I watched over the weekend were just serves at the wrong time, some of them, and I thought that was the difference.
All even here. Randolph ready to serve. Like I say, Dubinsky, sophomore, getting a lot of playing time, and that one just crawls over the net. Almost an ace for Randolph.
What's the call here?
Looks like the Wildcats are going to pick up that point.
I'm not sure what the call was.
Wildcats serving again. And Crockett will go over to Teagues, a little tip shot. And some miss hit there. Looks like, again, maybe, as you mentioned, Tom, could have been a bad set. Could have been the one getting set for, trying to make the kill, just jumped too early.
That's exactly right. Sometimes the setter doesn't, or you don't hear what the setter's call is, and you go for a different approach.
Knights won the first set 25-17. This one is for Tiggs, and that one's too strong.
Now it's 3-2 for the Wildcats.
So the Wildcats, after losing that first set, early lead here in set 2. This one is Tiggs over on the right side for the Knights. And some miscommunication there for the Wildcats, and it's all even at 3. Autumn Troxell, number 15, by the way, is Randolph's top kill artist this season.
Yeah, when Tiggs is in, the left-handed player for the Knights, that number 12, she gets to hit on the right side of the court, and a term is on hand when the ball is out in front of your body. If you're left-handed, the right side of the court is a little bit easier to hit than on the left side, and if you're right-handed, it's a little bit easier on the left side for you to hit.
And it's 4-3 Randolph. Knight to Crockett to Gwynn. And Gwynn got a little spin on her shot.
4-4.
That was a strange shot by Gwynn as she went up and just kind of put a little spin on the ball, it almost looked like.
Yeah, and again, that skill of, I don't know, a roll shot almost, yeah.
Good serve that time, too. Yeah, Crockett will set up Lonis. And now Crockett will go over to Allred. No stopping that. 5-4, Knights on top. And now Gwynn will serve for Southern Virginia.
Lonis, number 14 for the Knights. She seems very active this evening. A little bit more involved than what I saw over this past weekend.
That was Troxell, the top kill artist, and a good dig there by McKinley Knight. I think we're going to have a double hit, a lift maybe?
Yeah, double. Same thing. Yeah. It's the ball just didn't come out cleanly of the setter's hands.
And so the Knights now have a 2-point lead here, 6-4. Gwynn serving again. She had a good run serving in that first set, several points in a row. Good dig by Claire Hoteling. Good block by Allred. That was probably a mistake by Randolph to try to tip that over with Allred right there.
Allred, one of the best blockers in the conference. She gets up, and it's called a swing block when you take your move to the side and you swing and you jump up in the air, trying to swing up in the air with your arms a little bit. Helps you get up a little bit higher. Knights
have jumped to a 3-point lead here in set 2. And now it's a 4-point lead. And Randolph might need a timeout here shortly. And here it comes. 8-4. Knights on top here by 4 after they won the first set 25-17.
Pretty hard to stop the Knights right now offensively. If you're playing defense against the Knights, you have to figure, wow, here's 2 outside hitters that get so many sets. So we better go over here and put our blockers as much as we can just against that one hitter to stop them, because they're going to get the set probably. But when teams do that, Crockett now she's smart enough as a setter to go somewhere else, and a real good setter will see what is happening on the other side for the blockers, if they're committing to one hitter or not, and they'll try to go to somebody else.
As we mentioned, coming up Friday night, 7 o'clock, the Knights will take on St. Mary's at St. Mary's, and then they'll turn right around Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock, take on Marymount at Marymount in Arlington, and then at 3 o'clock, Tom, they will be playing Lebanon Valley, and obviously a non-conference match, and it's part of that tri-match on Saturday. And if they can get those 2 wins, especially if they know that York's taking care of Mary Washington, it'll be kickback time against Lebanon Valley in the final match of the regular season.
Yeah, I don't know those are called tri-matches. when you play against 3 teams in 2 days.
Yep.
And I'm just not that sure. It helps some teams. A lot of teams, though, that's a lot of matches. And if you're playing an important conference match, but you have a non-conference team that you have to play as well, it's a real interesting way to do it.
Especially if you get that bye and you're the number 2 seed. If you find out you're the number 2 seed, then you know you don't have to play again until Thursday, I think. But if you find out that Mary Washington beat York and then that you're the number 3 seed, you know you're going to have to turn around in almost 48 hours on a Tuesday and play.
Yeah, at that time you kind of wish, I wish we could just get out of here and
get home,
get some rest. Yeah.
Knights trying to put away Randolph here in set 2, but there's a good block by the Wildcats.
Yeah, 9-6.
So Randolph trying to hang in there, just like they were able to hang in against the Knights in the first set, 25-17, eventually losing that set. That serve is too strong, and the Knights now make it 10-6. So McKinley Knight will check out, and Dubinsky is back in. Dubinsky getting a lot of playing time tonight.
Again, good athlete. When she's on, it's fun to watch her.
Well, Lonis with a great serve there, and that results in a point. Looks like Lonis, knock on wood, don't want to jinx her, but she struggled with her serve about midway through the season. In the last couple of matches, she's been pretty strong with her serve.
Yeah. Ho Tailing, I'd like to give her a little shout out as
Whoa,
well.
That's an ace.
Ho Tailing, number 9, is in the back row for the Knights. And she doesn't get to hit much at all because she comes in the back row and plays defense. And she passes. And she's so good at that when she goes to the front row, another front row player comes in for her. But she's so important to the Knights' success.
The thing I've noticed with her is she is fantastic when it comes to digs.
Yep.
And Allred puts that one away. And there was a time, obviously, I think maybe for Tiggs, Ho Tailing would come in and replace her on the serve.
Yeah, it's how you're serving, and whoever the coach thinks who's going to give a little bit tougher serve, that's who stays in the match, just for the serve.
Knights on a nice run here with Lonis serving. And Crockett going to set up Dubinsky with a little tip over. And now Crockett will try Gwynn from the back row.
Referee's going to say that ball didn't clear the net. It went through the net to hit the blocker. Penny Gwynn is very good hitting from the back row, hitting from that 10-foot line they call it. It's actually a 3-meter line, but you have to jump behind the line and broad jump into the ball.
And here's Allred putting that one away. Allred has had several kills tonight, Tom, that have simply been unstoppable.
The angle on that particular shot was pretty amazing. We call that a wrist away, when your body faces one way and you turn your hand to the outside and hit it an angle. It's very impressive when they do that for strategy.
Nice play there by McKinley Knight as Gwynn gets it back over. And there's Allred. Boy, she almost had a great chance at a tap down, and she knew she blew it, but then she came right back with a block for the point.
That was fun to watch. I was keying in on Allred at that time. She wanted to get that first ball back and actually hit it instead of kind of block it back into the court, but she got a second chance.
And Crockett serving now. Good play there by Allred.
It's called a gator.
So they call it a gator, not a sideways dig, huh?
A little nickname. And coaches don't like to see too many gators. It kind of means that you just didn't dig it square usually. But
well, I mean, that was a heck of a play. Sometimes you can't do it square, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It was
another timeout taken by Randolph, and the lead continues to grow here for the Knights.
Yep, 16-7.
Well, when you look ahead, and for those who will be with us towards the end, again, we'll have all the post-game commentary respecting to the 4 seniors after this match is over, and then the Knights have those big road matches on Friday and Saturday, and hopefully everybody can wish the Knights well for that. And we'll find out, I guess, perhaps by Saturday, certainly by Sunday, where the Knights play, most likely at home, either Tuesday in the quarterfinals or hosting ideally on Thursday a semifinal match. You just got to stay tuned and know exactly what day and who the opponent will be.
the team is keyed in on just getting to the playoffs. That's what the regular season allows you to do. Seeding can be important, but that's not what you think when you play all of these conference matches. It's the thought is we need to get to the playoffs, and then we can win the playoffs. So whether we're first, second, third, fourth seed, whatever it is, you need to win the playoff or the conference playoffs, and then you get to go to the postseason.
Well, it's quite conceivable, not perhaps likely, but certainly probable or possible, I guess, Tom, that the Knights on a Thursday might have to play Mary Washington at Mary Washington, and on a Saturday might have to turn around and play CNU at CNU for the championship. And again, these are teams they faced on the road just last weekend.
The Knights are good enough that they could come and beat either of those two teams. So that's what's so fun about this season is the Knights have turned it around from last year so much.
And does it help? I mean, again, it's not likely, but it's possible they might face those teams on Thursday and Saturday. Does it help to have played them recently on the road in the last week or so as opposed to, let's say, at the very beginning of the conference season?
No, it's good to play them lately because you kind of know their tendencies. Sometimes if you play them early in the season, they change personnel or change their strategy a little bit. But they will know either of those teams very well if they face them.
Of course, they wouldn't mind seeing an upset or two to maybe perhaps play all tournament games on their home court.
Oh, of course, yeah. I always thought that as a coach. You want to see good teams play good, I guess, but sometimes it's okay if they don't play so good. Yeah.
Let somebody else beat them. That's fine. Knights trying to pick up a set 2 victory here after they won set 1 25-17, trying to put themselves in great position to snap this losing streak. And another point, Tiggs with the kill that time, and the Knights had point number 19.
19-8.
So the Knights really pulling away here in set 2, again after they won set 1 25-17, and Emily Arnold is going to be check in now. She's 6'2", and the Knights will certainly be counting on her in the future. Nice dig there by McKinley Knight. And Arnold with a little tip over. Point goes to Randolph.
They're going to call Arnold touching the net as she hit that ball. Yeah, Arnold, 6'2". It's an imposing block or an imposing hit, too, when she gets a hold of it.
Good serve there by Randolph, and Dubinsky able to get it over, along with Allred. And a miss hit by Randolph, and the Knights have point number 20.
29.
And Dubinsky is going to check out for Lonis here, with McKinley Knight serving. Can't say enough about the job that LaRue Crockett and McKinley Knight have done in the backcourt.
Correct.
All season long. Crockett Knight will set up Gwynn. And the point goes to the Knights again. 21 now. And it looks like another timeout maybe for Randolph. We'll see if they call it. Nope. Looks like they're going to stay out there. 21 right now for the Knights. 21-9. Good block at the net. And here is Crockett over to Gwynn. And now Crockett will try Arnold for the point.
Arnold, she has a very interesting swing. It's almost a straight back. She pulls her arm straight back and hits straight into the ball. And if the block doesn't figure that out soon, she's just going to get a bunch of kills.
And now Kaylee Rath will check in for the Knights. I believe this is her first appearance of the match. She's a 5'11 sophomore. Already served a mission in the past in Brazil. No stopping that for Randolph. They pick up point number 10.
Wildcats need a lot more of that. Somebody hitting the ball hard.
And the Wildcats came in 8-16 on the season, 3-7 in the ODAC this year. Another point for the Wildcats. Right now, it looks like the ODAC's going to come down to Washington Lee and Randolph and Macon. Although Virginia Wesleyan has won several in a row, and they're playing a lot better. And it's kind of like the Capital Conference tournament. You get into the ODAC postseason tournament, and people might be looking at Macon and Washington Lee, but don't count out teams like Bridgewater and Wesleyan.
Boy, postseason and right down at the end of the regular conference season, that's what it's all about. It's so fun to watch, all of the pairings, and you have to play good right down at the end of the season to
Now,
make all of
if
that.
you're like a CNU and you have such an outstanding record and you won the regular season, that takes some of the pressure off. You probably know that if there's a chance, I guess, if you lose in the conference tournament, you're going to get an at-large bid. But a lot of teams can't really rely on that.
That's exactly right. In fact, I would think CNU would get a bid almost right now. Well, it's 24-11.
And this
set
is
point.
set point here in set number 2 for the Knights, with Layton serving. And the Knights pick it up, 25-11. And so the Knights making short work of Randolph in set 2 after they won the first set, Tom, 25-17. They come right back and win set 2, 25-11. And right now they've got that commanding 2-0 lead. And set 3 is about 10 minutes away.
Yeah, we'll take a break, but it's impressive tonight for Southern Virginia how many players they've been able to play so far and still maintain that level of excellence that they have going right now. Usually when you put in a lot of different people, it takes them a while to gel and regroup to what everybody's doing, but so far it's even getting better. It's impressive.
So the Knights lead here, 2-0, 25-17 in the first set, 25-11 in that second set. We'll take a little break here from the Knights Sports Arena. And welcome back to the Night Sports Arena. Jim Bresnahan along with Tom Peterson. We are back here with you, bringing you all the action tonight of women's volleyball between Southern Virginia University and the Randolph Wildcats. And the Knights are on top here, 2-0, winning the first set 25-17, winning that second set 25-11, and now they'll try to put Randolph away, Tom, here in set number 3 to win this match, pick up their 18th win of the season. They would go to 18-7 and then have a time to prepare, actually about 3 days more or less, to prepare for Marymount and St. Mary's coming up next weekend.
Same lineup for the Knights with Dubinsky in. They want to take care of this as soon as they can. They don't want to have the Wildcats come back on them at all, and they don't want to even let them linger around. So the starting lineup comes in, and I'm sure right from the get-go, they're excited. This is the last home match, and the crowd, by the way, it's a very, very nice crowd this evening. Indeed. So important game, important set for the Knights. It's the last of the regular season for home.
And they would improve to 9-1 at home, and they're hoping to really only have one more home match, or possibly two, if CNU were to be upset. They'd love to, obviously, finish the number 2 seed, play in the semifinals, host the semifinals next Thursday, and then maybe see CNU get beat, and then maybe host the championship next weekend.
The Knights are looking forward to the postseason play. That's what everything is about, to win the conference championship at the end of the season. And how you finish the season is usually how you play in the playoffs. So they're going to try to play as hard as they can, even right now in this last set.
And a lot of teams are very capable of winning the Capital Conference tournament, not just CNU, Mary Washington, and Southern Virginia, like we talked about. York as a team that has actually had a pretty good season, and even Salisbury's actually made a little charge here of late.
Yeah, these are good teams, and it's so fun to see the Knights right in the mix with anybody. It's just so fun this year. That particular call, by the way, it looked like the Knights wiped the ball. It's called a wipe to push the ball into the block, but the referee said no, it didn't touch the block.
Here is Gwynn over. Knights trying to win set 3. Good block by Hannah Allred.
Allred. Look at her. After you make a great play, what I think is so nice about the Knights is they turn to their own players and celebrate. A lot of times a player will look at the other team,
right,
and it's so fun to watch the Knights celebrate with themselves.
Coaches, I would hope, would discourage that.
Yeah, sometimes it just depends. Some coaches even say, yeah, you got to play a little game and kind of get in the heads of the other team.
Psych the other team out, right?
Yeah.
Well, Gwynn was a little off balance that time and got her shot too far. So it's 2-1 Randolph. And stay tuned for the post game, as we'll be saluting the 4 seniors on the court, and we'll also be giving you their bios and then wrapping this one up. And don't forget, soccer tomorrow, women's soccer. They've got a chance, if they can beat Frostburg, to make the conference tournament in women's soccer action. Then, of course, Friday, 7 o'clock, we've got football. The Knights hosting Frostburg. And there is a service error by McKinley Knight. The Knights haven't had as many service errors tonight as they've had the last few matches, but one there.
You can just tell when the Knights miss serves, it kind of affects the rest of their game. When they make them, it usually affects the rest of their game for the good.
Good block by the Knights. There was Tiggs and Lonis right there. Yeah, I was thinking about the service aces. Sometimes this season when the Knights have gone a 3, 4, 5-point run, usually there's an ace in there someplace.
Exactly. Serve and serve receive are the two skills that all coaches emphasize, and that usually determines the outcome of the match.
Hoteling checks in to serve. Got a good little tip of the net there. And Gwynn right there.
I think they're going to call Penny Gwynn reaching over the net. If the other team has still another contact left, you can't reach over the net and grab the ball if they have a chance to set it. But the ball has to be completely on their side, and that's what the referee thought.
And Crockett will go over to Gwynn, and she'll try to get that point back, and does.
4 apiece.
And Gwynn will serve now.
Penny has served well this evening.
Gwynn serve over on the left-hand side for Randolph.
Boy, nice eye by Penny Gwynn. She let that ball go, and that was within a few inches of the line, but she could tell that that was going to go wide. Nice eye.
And the Knights have their 5th point here in set 3. Gwynn serving. Nice low serve again, and the point goes to the Knights.
Now the other players that has a different color uniform, that's the libero. And usually the libero is one of, if not the best passer on the team. Right now Penny Gwynn is going right at the libero.
And right there for the Knights with the block. Allred was there. Another point. Gwynn, I think she had this maybe in set 1 where she was serving and the Knights went on a 3 or 4 point run, and it's happening here in set 3.
Yep, 7-4.
Another good low serve by Penny Gwynn. And that one's out, 8-4.
It's a second tip that the setter tipped it wide.
And if you're Randolph and maybe another point or two, you might take that time out to start set 3.
Right.
Maybe after this point if they don't score. Good block by the Knights. Crockett, Lonis, and she flips it to the right side and out.
I think that Lonis kind of got anxious on that ball because she's been blocked a couple of times in the middle of the court, and so she was going to do something different that time and just overexerted and tipped the ball very wide.
So it's 8-5, I believe now. And Crockett will go to Allred. And she got the point to go.
Both Penny Gwynn and Hannah Allred, when they hit the ball, sometimes it's just so effortless. It looks like it's just so easy to get a kill for them. Unless the block is right there, it's going to be a kill. 9-5.
Lonis serving.
Good serve.
Out.
And
10-5. What amazes me with Allred and Gwynn, too, is when you hit it that strong that you can actually get it to stay in.
Exactly. They have good range, I like to call it.
Lonis serves again. She really does have a tough serve to return.
Yeah.
Crockett, a little dump there by Crockett, but Randolph was waiting for it. Dubinsky will put it away. Let's see if Randolph takes a timeout here.
Looks like the coach is getting ready.
Yep.
Yes. 11-5.
And the Knights have a 6-point lead already here in set 3 as they are trying to make short work of Randolph. Randolph has been actually pretty competitive tonight, just not able to hang with the Knights, especially in the second half of each set.
You know, as a coach, senior night, the last home match usually is the senior night, and it's always been an interesting time for me to judge with the seniors how much time should I play all of the seniors and get people in and out. And for the Knights, they played a lot of people this evening. All the seniors have gotten playing time this evening.
Layton, obviously, and of course, Hoteling, Gwynn, and Allred get a lot of playing time as a rule anyway. So
now it'll be interesting to see this last half of this set, what kind of substitutions Penny or Nicole Gwynn, the coach, what she does.
Especially if the Knights can maybe turn this into a 10-point lead.
Correct.
Lonis will serve again. She's got one of the more fascinating serves to watch, especially from behind, just to see the movement on the ball. And she got some good movement that time.
Another good serve.
They go to Allred, and she puts it away. I think that was actually touched.
It was touched. So it's 12-5, and Lonis, good serving.
And Haley, this time, good low serve again. Good dig there by Hoteling. Gwynn from the back row. Knights had the block, but couldn't get the second shot.
It's fun to watch the Knights. They do something that not very many teams do in the conference, and that is when they get a chance, they put 3 blockers up against 1 hitter. So we call that a max. People call it different things, but it's kind of uncommon.
How about Dubinsky?
That's 2 kills in a row now from the front row for Dubinsky. Again, she is a good athlete. It's fun to watch.
She got a lot of playing time last year, not as much this year as last year, as Crockett will serve here. The Knights have 13 now in set 3. Crockett after the dig by Knight over to Tiggs.
And a touch. Oh,
Randolph somehow got that back over.
nice up.
And quickly over to Allred, and she really was not able to get their left hand on that one. That was a set that Crockett fired over to Allred, maybe a little too hard.
A little too far, a little hard, yeah.
So Randolph will try to go on a run here as they have come back within 6. It'll be Crockett with the set for Tiggs. Good shot by Randolph. Knight unable to get over there, and it went right past Hannah Allred.
13-8.
Well, the Wildcats are trying to stay in this match. Down by 2 sets. Knights just got that over. And that one's out.
Boy, just as the Wildcats were making a comeback, they hit. Oh, no, wait. What are they going to call? They must have called a net on the Knights. So
unless it was touched. 13-9 now.
Wow, 13-9.
So the Randolph Wildcats, I believe that's 3 points in a row for them. Allred is blocked, and it's now 4 in a row for the Wildcats, 13-10. Who knows? The Knights might need to take a timeout here shortly.
Yeah, you can see that Nicole Gwynn, you come out on the court as a coach a lot and talk to your players and kind of get a feel whether you should call that timeout.
Gwynn from the back row. Great play by Penny Gwynn.
Hit from the back row. Penny Gwynn is very good at that.
Layton is in. Allred is out. It's 14-10 Knights.
So Layton, a senior, she's had some good points this evening, 14-10.
Played in 16 games last year as a defensive specialist and recorded 100 digs.
If you got a chance to watch that block along the net, I'm not sure the camera picks up all of those that well, but Dubinsky just got in the right spot and got over the net and it went straight down on the block.
Here's Knight setting up Gwynn. And number 2 for Randolph Verhagen was trying to see if that was maybe going to hit perhaps the ceiling fan, and then just never could track it for the second hit.
Yeah, a hard enough hit that it just couldn't be controlled. 16-10.
So Knight's right there.
17-10 as the Wildcats hit the ball out.
No, I think they're going to say it was touched. Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
So it's 16-11 now. So the Wildcats get a much-needed point, even though they're still down by 5 here in set 3. And Knight kind of mishit that one to make it 16-12 now.
It's a rare mistake when the ball goes straight down off the passing arms. McKinley Knight will not do that again.
And that one almost didn't get over the net. Here's Dubinsky for the kill.
Dubinsky has to be hitting 700 or 800 right now. She's killed pretty much everything that she's been set.
Do you really hope that she can play like this next season when they try to replace Gwynn and Allred on that front line?
Yeah, Dubinsky is at least this year she's been playing middle blocker, and last year I think. So I'm not sure that that's the same position.
Right.
But and I'm not sure that what her intentions are. I did understand that she is going somewhere for just a little bit a different degree, that she has a specialty, and I'm not sure that she's coming back, but it'd sure be nice to have her.
Sure, no doubt about it. As Tiggs was able to get that one over, blocked out of bounds by Randolph, and the Knights have 18 now. They're 7 away from victory.
Hoteling,
one of the 4 seniors who will be honored after this match, and she got the service ace.
Nice.
Thanks to the net.
You usually remember best what you did last, and this is her last home match of her career here with the Knights. She'll probably remember that ace.
And I'm sure they would all love to remember maybe a Saturday home victory in the Capital Conference tournament next weekend, but that's a ways away. The Knights trying to put the finishing touch here on this non-conference match against Randolph, trying to pick up the victory, snap the losing streak of 3, and maybe build another winning streak down the road here, because they've still got 3 matches left in this 2017 regular season.
Yeah, if you're a good team and you want to go deep into the playoffs, and everybody's goal is to win in the playoffs, whatever playoff you're in. So they have to be undefeated from now on. It's kind of the mentality. Every single match is important now. Even the non-conference, you don't want to have a letdown and have that in your minds going into the match that really counts in the playoffs.
But that's why I was thinking about, boy, if they could pick up the number 2 seed, again, you just need to win 2 matches and you are in the national tournament. But that's obviously a very, very, very big challenge when you talk about maybe beating a Mary Washington or a York or a Salisbury and certainly a CNU.
That's correct. It's a fun conference to be in.
Here's Lonis with a little tip over. Knights trying to pick up their 20th point.
Good block. Crockett.
Good dig by Hoteling.
Hoteling.
Knight will go to Crockett. They'll go over to Lonis. Good point here. Who's going to win it? Crockett to Gwynn.
Long rally.
It'll be Gwynn this time. Down the line for the point.
I could almost tell that Penny Gwynn, okay, I've tried angle, and I'm going to just hit it line now because I know that the player in the back row was sneaking up. So 20-13.
And the Knights just need 5 more points, and they'll bring in a new face here. Lexi Wolfgram, freshman from West Jordan, Utah, to serve. Good low serve by Alexi. Good block by the Knights. Blocked by Lasike, I think it was.
It is. So a lot of Knights in the match now. Let's see if the Knights finish out even better than they did.
I think Heyer's getting ready to check in for the Knights as well. Tips the net, goes over. Good dig there by Layton, but not able to get it back over. Point goes to Randolph.
You know, Layton is not always in the match, but she is such a good player. She could be the libero as well.
No question.
And when the libero, when Knight and Layton are in the back row together, such good defense and good passing.
Here's the set over for Lasike. Good block by the Knights. Point to Randolph, though.
21-15.
Knights just need 4 more points for the match victory. Lasike over to Gwynn. Gwynn ranging from right to left. And then Lonis tips it in. Now that's placement.
Yeah, Lonis. Again with that shot in the middle of the court, that little lob, she hasn't been swinging that well, it doesn't look like, and so that time it was a good tip where the defense just wasn't standing. 22-15.
Knights just need 3 more points with Gwynn serving, and she's capable of going on a 3-point run, but that one was a service error, 22-16.
The Knights with a lot of people in, just make sure that everyone's playing well. Oh, what are they going to call?
The ball hit the floor, I think. That would make it 22-17.
I think they called the Knights out of rotation. You have to be in certain places in relation to other players, and I think the Knights were out of rotation.
And the point goes to Randolph, 22-17 now. And here's Allred putting it down way down the line.
But hit out.
Yep, 22-18, and now Randolph's climbed within 4. Knights still need 3 more points for victory. Knights could really use this point, and it is put away by Randolph. Good kill there by Shelby Burgum.
Now it's getting close. It'll be interesting to see what Penny Gwynn does. She still has timeouts. Or Nicole Gwynn, the coach.
22-19. Good dig there by the Knights. Knight over to Lasike. Knights trying to pick up this point. They'll go to Gwynn in the back row. Good dig by Penny Gwynn.
CK, she has good placement. She's a good setter.
Two Knights going to the floor to make sure that didn't
Long
hit.
rally again.
Good block by the Knights. They get the point. All red right there for the block. That was a thrilling 23rd point.
That was long rally. When you win long rallies, the crowd really gets into it.
No.
Now we're at the end, and the crowd's really into it.
Heyer checks in to serve. She'd love to have two aces to put this one away.
23-19.
And that one down the right side of the Randolph court. Blocked by Allred again along with Dubinsky. 24-19, and here is match point.
Allred blocking so many tonight. She probably set, I don't know if it's a record, but she blocked a lot of balls tonight.
Crowd to its feet trying to get the Knights to victory. Blocked by the Knights. And now Gwynn will go to Lasike. It's blocked. Good dig there by the Knights. And Lasike trying to get it over, not able to. 24-20.
Oh, when I was talking about the setter, it's Wolfgram is the setter, so I apologize. Wolfgram has good ball control setting, but that time it was a tight pass, and Wolfgram unable to get to the ball and set it.
24-21.
Still a tight game.
Still match point. The set to Lasike, blocked by Randolph. They pick up another point, 24-22. Knights will take a timeout trying to get that 25th point.
So in the huddle now, when you have a huddle, when you've given up a few points, usually you talk about what play are we going to run, and that's all the Knights have to talk about right now because this is set point, match point. So what play are they going to run? Who are they going to set? And you make sure that everybody is covering. One play is the match.
And the Knights still have a couple of chances here before we would have a tie here. It's 24-22. Knights have 2 match points remaining. Randolph has battled off at least, three, by my count. Might have been 4.
Yep.
So far. 24-22. Knights are already on top here after winning 25-17 and 25-11 in sets 1 and 2. All red. It goes to Dubinsky, tips it over, and Randolph somehow got that back. All red puts it away.
25-22 in the last set, and that was fun that they went to Dubinsky for match point. The set was just a little high, so she had to kind of tip it over, but the Wildcats couldn't control it, and Allred now just a patent hit, overpass, and kill by Allred.
And so Randolph drops to 8-17 on the season, and the Knights snap that 3-game losing streak, Tom, and now the Knights are 18-7 on the season with still 3 matches left to go.
That actually can change your attitude a little bit. Hey, we're on a winning streak now, and we played better. You guys, we just played the 2 best teams in our conference next to us, maybe you should say, but Now we're on a winning streak, and we get to play those guys again. Next time we know what to do. We're going to beat them. It can be a very positive thing for the Knights.
By the way, of course, I think we talked about this before. The Knights in 2014, their first year in Division III, they won 21 matches, and if the Knights could win their 3 remaining regular season matches, they too would have 21 wins for the season with still the conference tournament to come.
How impressive is that? Coach Nicole Gwynn doing such a nice job this year. It's tough to just turn things around from not such a great record as they wanted last year to what they're doing this year. And why is that turnaround? I asked Nicole Gwynn that, and she is so modest when I think she should take some of the credit.
Sure,
Coaches should always take credit for that.
But I think she's talked about it repeatedly, just fantastic team leadership.
Absolutely. The team chemistry, the leadership, everything for the Knights this year. It's fun to be around the girls. Everything is just so good.
Coming up here again, senior night to wrap things up. We'll talk about the 4 seniors, and they'll be honored on the court here in just a matter of seconds. And then we'll wrap this one up. Don't forget, soccer tomorrow. Women's soccer against Frostburg. Important conference match for the Southern Virginia University women's soccer team. And then Friday, 7 o'clock, we will have Southern Virginia University football in their next to last season in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. They'll be taking on Frostburg Friday night at 7 o'clock during the stadium dedication.
Well, we're waiting here for presentation, a little presentation for each of the seniors, and we'll talk about each of the seniors. There are 4 of them this evening.
And they are Delaney Layton, Claire Hoteling, Penny Gwynn, and Hannah Allred. And Delaney Layton is going to be honored first. Double major Delaney is in Spanish and psychology. The Gilbert, Arizona native, named to the Capital Athletic Conference All-Academic Team during the 2014 and 2016 seasons. Came to Southern Virginia in 2014. She's played for the Knights her entire college career. She has recorded in her college career 336 digs, 72 aces in 58 games, and last year she averaged 2.44 digs per set, contributing 100 digs over her 16 appearances. She's been an asset to the team as a defensive specialist, is escorted tonight by her parents, Roy and April Layton, and also her siblings. So congratulations once again to one of 4 seniors on this year's team in Delaney Layton. And she got a lot of playing time tonight, Tom.
She played very, very well. Such a good way to go out. I don't know what you should say go out, but your last home match of the regular season. And now next up is Claire Hoteling. Claire has been with the Knights since 2013, and after missing the 2014 season because of an injury, she returned to the team and has participated in a total of 81 games. Throughout her career, she has recorded 60 aces, 184 kills, and 499 digs. A native of Peachtree City, Georgia, the defensive specialist is a liberal arts major with a concentration and certification in elementary education. She was named to the provost list during the spring 2014 semester and was named to the 2013-14 Capital Athletic Conference All-Academic Team. In addition to volleyball, Claire has been a member of the women's lacrosse team and concert chorale. She is escorted by her parents, Michael and Andrea Hoteling.
And you can see with all the hugs, Tom, just how emotional this is, not just for the seniors, but for the entire team. And now the next senior is Penny Gwynn, 2-time Capital Athletic Conference Player of the Week. And she currently leads the entire conference with 4.24 kills per set, 332 kills going into the match tonight. Compared to 285 last year, she recently had a career-high 25 kills in the victory over Wesley. She transferred in 2016 and was named to the CAC Honor Roll 4 times. Also, she was named to the CAC All-Academic Team and the university's provost list for spring of 2017. And she'll be graduating with a degree in business management and leadership, being escorted tonight by her parents, Dawn and Brenda Gwynn. And again, what can you say about Penny Gwynn? What a tremendous season she has had.
She is going to be missed, and everyone knows it. And her teammates hugging her, a lot of emotion. And it's a wonderful way to go out again as a senior. Penny
really
Gwynn.
Special for the entire team, the coaches, the players themselves, and of course the parents.
And the final senior is Hannah Allred. Hannah Allred is from Stansbury Park, Utah, and is finishing her degree in family and child development. Hannah was named the conference player of the week earlier this season, and she is 3rd in the conference with 3.88 kills per set and has 287 on the season. The outside hitter leads the team in service aces per set with .47 aces per set. Last season, Hannah recorded her career-high 25 kills against Concord and 31 digs against York. To date, she has 18 career doubles. What a way to go, as Hannah Allred is a senior. And let's see who she's escorted by. I'm not sure her parents were able to make it this evening, but look at everybody hugging Hannah Allred. And it's a great story for Hannah. I know her personally. I've done volleyball camp a few times back in Utah. That's where she's from. And she's just such a neat person. Well, it's fun to watch.
And
Hannah.
It was really fun tonight in this victory over Randolph, Tom, to see all 4 seniors contribute in a meaningful way. Penny Gwynn had some fantastic moments, as did Hannah Allred, with some fantastic blocks. And Delaney Layton as well. And, of course, Claire Hoteling had a service ace.
All of the seniors played so well tonight. It's fun to do that. Senior night, all of the emotions that come from that, they're going to remember this. And such good team chemistry this year, and such a good team. So everything is just good tonight.
And so the Knights are now 18-7 on the season, snapping that losing streak, that short losing streak of 3 matches, and now 18-7 on the season. And again, looking ahead for the Knights, coming up Friday at 7 o'clock, they'll play at St. Mary's. They'll turn right around on Saturday on the 28th and play at Marymount at Arlington at 1 p.m. and then play in non-conference action in that extra match on Saturday, Lebanon Valley. And the first 2 conference matches would be the key. If the Knights can win those 2 conference matches on Friday and Saturday and have York knock off Mary Washington, the Knights can count on getting the number 2 seed, which again would give them not only a home match in the conference tournament, but it would give them a bye in the quarterfinals and put them right up into the semifinals, and they would only be 2 match wins away from winning the conference tournament and also making the Division III tournament.
Well, how you're seeded into the tournament can be important, but much more important than that is just how you play. And now the Knights are finishing the season, and they will be back here. And I imagine that we'll be talking to you once again. And it would be great to do that twice. But even if it's one time, The Knights are on a roll now, and they're playing well. You could see by how happy they were this evening that they're back. They're going to give it their all right here at the end of the season to try to win the conference championship.
Well, 9-1 at home now, and again, they could be playing at home next Tuesday, hosting maybe a quarterfinal matchup possibly, or they could skip the quarterfinals, go right into the semis, and maybe be at home a week from Thursday, hosting a conference semifinal match. We'll have to see how it all plays out here, especially this weekend with St. Mary's and Marymount on the road, and good luck certainly to the Knights on the road.
A big congratulations this season to the Knights, the Southern Virginia Knights. What a wonderful season.
Don't forget women's soccer tomorrow, and we've got Southern Virginia football Friday at 7 o'clock against Frostburg. Final scores again here today as the Knights sweep Randolph in this match. 25-17 Knights in the first set, 25-11 in the second set. The Knights win a thrilling third set, 25-22, and the Knights are now 18-7 on the season. Congratulations once again to the Knights, and certainly congratulations to the 4 seniors as well. That'll wrap things up here from the Knights Sports Arena. I'm Jim Bresnahan once again for Tom Peterson, our director Craig Reese, and our fantastic production staff. Thanks again for joining us, everyone, for Knights Volleyball. Have a great evening.